for Poke's success in this second series. For them, though, I mean, if they can ride the high, sure, but you let through the Lina. Not only the Lina tree. I mean, you have to have some big cojones to be in a best of one with your Division 2 lives at stake here, and you let through one of the strongest here right now in the patch. I mean, is that a lot of confidence? Is that a lot of cockiness? What can you kind of put it down to?
Maybe they just felt like they had the answers to it. I mean, we were talking about it during the draft in our little private conversation that there were a lot of answers left available to the Lina, right? Like they could have gone into a Morphling again. They could have gone Slark because they saw that the Mars had been picked up. Marcy kind of feels like a similar sort of one in that regard.
Yep.
My big issue that I'm seeing is that I think this is an amazing Willow game. I agree with Fluke in the talk about the Shadow Demon, but it's a very passive style of hero, right? So I think the Willow just gives them so many kill avenues. I was completely on board with the puck conversation that they were talking about as well, but it would have left them with that big hole in their draft where they don't really push towers all that well. So Death Prophet's going to be able to resolve that. But, I mean, you just have a look at Willow. I still think that their main goal is going to be stopping this Broodmother because Killer was the MVP in my eyes last game. And so it's incredibly important that you look to try and shut him down as much as possible. You've got a Mars that's going to be able to do that just with the arena. And now you can have stuff like Brambles into Spear, into Bedlam, or even just the Cursed Crown with the Aghanim Shard into Bedlam can kill. Because even if you pop the Greaves to be able to get out of that, it still spawns the Brambles around you. Yep. So you're going to be in this vulnerable state.
Yeah, and I think it's a support that can make Marcy's life really difficult as well. Like, anyone with just an overwhelming amount of control and also just being able to protect yourself inside Shadow Realm too. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of the time Marcy would like to kill those supports because of how important they are inside the team fights in regards to the control. And but for Dark Willow, I mean, you're okay. Like, Marcy doesn't have that AoE damage, so Shadow Realm is going to be a really big issue. And then
they've basically got zero AoE damage outside of this Storm Spirit, right? So yeah, this is certainly set up for Marblu, who I think is being probably Meteor's best player over the entirety of this season. Like, he's been having great performances on his rookie, even in that losing matchup yesterday against Vici. I thought his Tusk was quite good. So let's see if he's able to do it with the Willow.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately for them, they're also down their mid laner in Blessing.
Mm-hmm. Well, he had a barbecue to go to, you know, that was the important thing, right? Luke said he was a big fan of sausage. What's your favorite barbecue meat?
The battle begins.
Oh, hold 1 second. Is anyone in a little bit of trouble? It's like just some poke back and forth. Bounties will be a 2 for 2. Look, I'm down for a good gourmet sausage if we're going to add that extra little spice to it just to make it sound even more tasty.
Also, he said it's got 3 different meats in it. What was it? Pork, lamb, and beef or something like that. There's no actual meat in those sausages, let's be real. You know, it's a mix of all sorts of different things that I'm not sure would qualify as meat.
Well, what would your favorite be?
Maybe kangaroo steak or something?
Oh, I haven't had kangaroo in a while, but we had it when I was younger a couple of times, and I was a very big fan of it. It was quite tasty.
I mean, with you on your gym kick, you should get into it. It's lean as hell.
I'm spamming chicken right now. I am...
Thigh or breast?
Breast usually. I like some tendies as well.
Oh,
get the
can't go wrong with the tendy.
No, you cannot go wrong with the chicken tendies. So...
Ramfu might be in a little bit of danger.
Narcissus, can he find the angle for the speed? Unfortunately, still in level 1, so doesn't have the greatest range to be able to connect onto a tree or a wall. It does bring Molasses out of the lane, so some CS is going to be missed and some free space given over to Lonfair as well, who, of course, as a... Oh, first blood's going to be picked up from Marblu, so was actually still able to chase down the Lich and be able to find the kill, so that's pretty nice considering this Lich has still got 3 Mangos, 3 Tangos, and a Self. So the fact that he's going to go back to base kind of without a pseudo reset for his resources is nice for Meteor. They're going to look to go, though. Level 2 is available, so Lonfer instantly pounces on Molasses, and, well, the spear is going to be off the mark, so as a result of this, should end up going down, but he's got a Salve to play with. Trying to duck into the tree line as well. Lonfer, though, continuing with the chase. He's going to be cautious, though. Considering about turning his attention back over to the Dark Willow, but Blue protected with the Shadow Realm. They might go for Molasses again. Rebounds off cooldown if they can find a creep to bounce off to. A lot of damage starting to be accumulated onto the Marcy, so Lonfer's going to be very hesitant now.
It does make your life a little bit challenging, doesn't it? I mean, Mars probably one of the better heroes at being able to... Well, actually, they're going to make it go onto him while he's got that spear and not much mana to play with, so that is a really nice move coming out there from Lonfer, being really aggressive in this lane, making sure to play around the resources that you had to play with there on Molasses.
It's interesting that Lonfer goes for his... at level 3, goes for a point in the sidekick. I've seen a lot of the 1-2 build and then start maxing the sidekick after that. Maybe it feels like because he doesn't have any sustain at the moment. He is sending his courier over to the side shop to buy that ring of health, but yeah,
I think it's
like
always just good. Like, just the single point in the sidekick provides a lot, right? The lifesteal doesn't increase that much level on level, so it's just about being able to stay in the lane. And that's what you want against the Mars, right? Mars really suffers against these other heroes
Top
that
lane,
want to stay in lane.
Dream Protector is going to be brought down, and the burst potential is going to be enough from Aaron and Killer, so beautifully done. I mean, we've seen it's pretty much a consistent thing now whenever you're versing a Dream Protector. Like, you've got to get rid of the trees to limit his kind of impact inside the lane.
It's good for Killer, though, that he's able to pick up that kill. Again, this is not an easy lane to be able to play around with, for sure. But, I mean, every
What's going on mid?
Oh, that is a deep dive coming through there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
We're going to call him Star or YRG? Let's just call him YRG. We'll forget Star.
Yeah, YRG.
What do you think that stands for?
Yes, red, green.
Yellow, red, green?
Sure. I said yes, but yellow works as well. I mean, that probably sounds... I mean, goes a little bit better with the colors. Small KK. Almost going to go down, but not the case. So putting a lot of pressure onto the Storm Spirit early on. 19 and 10 compared to the 12 and 4. Because the one nice thing at the moment is that YRG is not going to have the water rune to be able to refill his mana. So the spam will not continue.
Going to need to have Aaron sit in this mid lane, though. Small KK has been completely harassed out of this lane. So good old yellow, red, green is going to be able to...
Yellow,
to be a little bit further ahead. I mean, he's going to have a 500 net worth lead, and he's got boots now to be able to play with. So I guess Small KK will have the resources and a completed bottle to be able to play within this mid lane a little bit, and YRG is a little short on the old mana, so not as much harass, but still, it's another one lane coming through here from Meteor.
Bottom lane, they're going to look to jump on Molasses. Toss back, tries to find the spear target. He will be able to land it. Looks like it's enough to keep him alive.
So I wonder if they're going to go for right now, like, clarity up on Ranfu and then use the mango onto Lonfer, just so that they can look to go for another one of these kill attempts. I think Ranfu Dao is a little too far forward, especially now that you've got that combination with the spear and the God's Rebuke. I don't think the Rebuke hit there, though. They can definitely look to go for a kill onto Molasses. There's really nothing stopping him, and there we go. Like, they're mangoing him up. That'll mean that Molasses is going to play a little bit more passively, though.
Lina might be in some trouble top lane. No, telekinesis not going to be there. Bottom lane, Ranfu. They're going to be able to chase him down, so...
They just went on the same page. Like, I'm sure that Ranfu, if you're using 2 mangoes onto your carry, it's because you want to be able to make a kill happen, and, well, they weren't. He just went back to the lane trying to get a couple of last hits when really the main priority is making sure that this Mars keeps dying, doesn't get his level 6, and opens up the game for the Broodmother.
Oh, look at this. Look at YRG with the invis. Oh, what the hell, man?
That's so cheeky.
Small KK, he wants to leave the lane to try and get
no TP.
The neutrals to provide him the 6, and YRG with the use of the invis is able to scout him out. Beautifully done. Great use of that first Xism. It's something we see pretty often, honestly, with the Storm Spirits. Like, you, from that 5.5 mark, you like to go back and get the 6, and then you'll feel a little bit safer to play the lane. And YRG was able to read that perfectly.
At least Aaron was able to take out the siege creep, so they're not going to be taking too much damage into this tower, but YRG is going to have about a 1k net worth advantage at the 7-minute mark, which is certainly not what you want.
No, not at all. We've seen what the Death Prophet's been able to do as well so far throughout Division 2 when you are given a good game, not even as an offlaner, but even as a mid laner as well. So it'll be very exciting to see how he can continue to put some pressure onto the map. It looks like at the moment, though, Killer seems pretty okay with being left alone.
Oh, for sure.
Do we feel like...
I think he's just
feel
fine.
like this will change anytime soon? Like, would you like the Rubik to come up maybe with, once he has a little bit more spiders, to potentially get a kill into pressure on the tower? Or what are we thinking Aaron can do?
I mean, you can't really make this slow pressure onto the towers when you've got a tree and protector that you're up against, right? So he's just going to try and stay in that lane for as long as possible, keep the Broodmother shoved away.
Bottom.
Yes, he is.
Look at this out of the Death Prophet, trying to chase down Ranfield at the moment. Lonfair's going to be able to give them some bonus movement speed to escape, but unfortunately, that is not enough to keep the Lich alive. So a pretty big rotation nonetheless, that all they get is a kill onto the Lich, and unfortunately for YRG, wasn't able to find the bounty, so that'll enable small KK to pick up the double damage
might be
rune.
going for a kill here. I mean, they're maybe waiting for the DP to commit, and well, with the power treads, maybe they feel like they're going to be able to. All lightning available. Living armor though.
I'm gonna go now. He's got one charges and a fairy fire. It looks like they haven't kind of calculated how much extra sustain YRG can have. It didn't even need to pop any of those.
No. I mean, Leech Seed level 2 is just such a big sustain coming through, and when you've still got as little farm as you do on the Storm Spirit, you're not going to have the ability to just zip around in a lot of these small skirmishes.
Dire's top tower is under
Aaron's actually come down to the bottom side. They want a quick kill.
And they should be able to find it, although the spear
Nice timing.
pins the Marcy up to the tree. So the first unleash of the game is not going to be able to provide them a kill in our tease. He's going to look to step in as well. Even the arena from Molasses
Well worth it.
holds Aaron
kill Ranfu.
inside the walls. They'll get the spear. An easy second kill for them to find. TZ does maybe step up a little bit too far, but the kills give Marblu enough experience for the level 6. Now with the Bedlam chasing down Lonfer. He'll run inside the Bramble. The damage, it's just not enough though. Lonfer, he's going to be able to stay alive, but it looks like Small KK will find the cleanup. So in the end, a 2 for 2. The Treant Protector also went down.
Exo's just run out in the mid lane as well, so YRG is not going to be able to get too much damage into this tower. But again, you're going up against a Lina lineup, and I feel like as long as Lina isn't being constantly pressured, you're okay with it. I mean, YRG continuing to have a really good start to the game. Yes, it's very important that Storm is there to be able to pick up those 2 kills on the bottom side, but I'm assuming this really isn't the start that Marcy has been hoping for. They had a really strong potential for a kill lane, and it just hasn't eventuated.
Yeah, rebound level 1 nowadays, you see the range there.
Yeah.
Last just quick sidestep is like, ugh.
There's a couple of times now where that would have secured kills in previous patches, and, well, like you said, not the case anymore.
YRG once again off the back of the Invis rune. Able to close the distance onto Ranfu. Even though they don't get the kill into Marcy, this will importantly shove her out of the lane. So I don't think the Frost Shield's going to be enough, so the Lich will go down. I mean, meanwhile, you see Killer, he's starting to get a little bit of damage into the tier 2 tower top. You've even got Aaron soaking up some gold and experience mid lane as well. So at least Poker still finding stuff across the map, even though Marcy's not been able to freely farm towards a Battle Fury.
They are. I think right now all that they're really concerned about is where exactly are they looking to play around, right? They had the glyph to be able to get rid of that siege creep up top. That was their main priority. You can look to take this bottom tower with the siege creep and then still have the exorcism for a push into the mid lane. So I think that's the main priority that Meteor are looking to play around right now. YRG might not even need to use a TP for it. They could just look to make a rotation through the Radiant jungle, maybe try and pick someone off as they're looking to farm, but well, actually they might find Willow before that.
Very nicely done from Marblu. Just use the Terrorize at the last second, and they're going to be able to zone them away. So tower will go down bottom lane, giving Molasses actually enough gold towards the Blink Dagger. Meanwhile, inside the river, though, a long zip. Small KK is going to be able to close the distance onto YRG, but very similarly to last time, it looks like they're going to be lacking the damage.
Overgrowth.
Lonfer without the Unleash to be able to blow him up, and TZ will find an opening for the Overgrowth, stopping the retreat short as... I mean, when are they going to learn, Denog? This hero on the Death Prophet, you are not an easy man to bring down, and now Molasses with the wraparound as well. From bottom to mid, the Mars goes, utilizing the arena as soon as it comes off cooldown to grant them another kill.
Yeah, 4 for 1. Still haven't even used the Exo, right? So maybe you can look to use this to push it to a tier 2. Maybe you take the tier 1 top. Maybe you start even to threaten Roshan a little bit to allow that Lina to farm a little bit further forward. She's got the boots of travel next, so you know that she's going to be roaming around the map. I'm a little surprised that Killer didn't look to put more pressure up onto this top lane while all of that was happening. You committed every single hero on the Dire side to be able to get that successful team fight going your way, and you didn't get anything in response to it, especially against a Treant Protector who now has the freedom to be able to go back to this lane and just put the living armor onto the tower. They don't even have a single point in the Nature's Grasp either, so this tower is really vulnerable to not actually having the wave pushed out. Another Bedlam onto the Marcy. Oh.
And potentially another
Can
kill
he,
as
though?
well. Lonfer's actually able to turn it back around. A lot of life still coming off the back of that. They've got the Laguna Blade through ready to try and cut away the health. Molasses jumps over the top, and now is able to turn it onto the Lina as well. Simultaneously, though, mid lane. All right. I mean, we're seeing they've even tried 4 heroes to bring down the Death Prophet, and this time all they needed was 3.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Because Treant's priorities were elsewhere, right? He was looking to try and get some kills. You didn't have the Terrorize to be able to push her away. They're actually going for a little decent level zip here. Marblu coming
This
for a bit
could
of
be
the save.
scary. They've got Arena and Terrorize at the ready. Marblu,
Stolen.
oh, they stole the Arena, though. Beautifully done from Eren with the quick fingers. They're still going to get a little bit of damage out of the combination. Exo popped on the outskirts, and YRG, kind of a unforced Exo usage there, not even really needing that Death Prophet ultimate, so a pretty heavy commitment in the end, and all they get as a reward is the Broodmother kill.
Is still pretty important that you take out that Brood, right? All that Lina needs is space to be able to farm. You know that she can take this once you get to the super late stages. She's actually going into a Gleipnir instead of any sort of like BKB to be able to protect against the lift, from the Storm Spirit from zipping in, from the rebound landing in onto her, and all that stun damage that they've got. Maybe just realizing that TZ has been playing pretty well so far, constantly in the right position to be able to get that overgrowth save, quick on the fingers for the living armor. We'll see if it ends up working out for her, because it's pretty important that you lock them in place as well. Nice team play, though, from Lonfer. Making sure he's able to save his Lich.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Oh,
No Kaya.
Vicario? Yeah. Right, 1 minute 40 without the completed Kaya from Small KK, so it's going to continue to slow his game down, who's really taken a hit in the net worth. I'm kind of surprised there's only about 500 behind the Death Prophet, but meanwhile, I mean, everything you'd ever expect from Alina. Like, she is well and truly top of the net worth, 3-0-4. They've only started to kind of pressure her own junglers. Actually, bottom speaking about the jungle, Killer looking to try and play with Eren's Rubik. Marblu will be successful with his TP out. The Cursed Crown kind of being able to cover that. They're setting up on top lane. Lonfer's going to be in some trouble. TZ will use the Overgrowth from afar, and that's where Lina is able to come into play to provide the damage. So beautifully done from these two members.
A little far forward. Sure, they didn't have the tower to be able to play around with, but you typically know where a Treant Protector is going to be setting himself up. If they're not going for any sort of ganks, he's probably going to be hanging around this top side, the dead lane, if you will. And, well, now, even with that that Marcy being in the grave, you can look to have Lina be the one to push this one out a little bit. Even if Storm made the zip forward, still got the save coming through from the Leech Seed, from the Living Armor. So you'd say they're fairly satisfied right now on Meteor with the early portions of this game. I mean, it's not quite double, but it's pretty damn close to it in terms of the position 1 net worth. Lonfer doesn't feel anywhere near as confident on this Marcy when you compare it to what he was able to accomplish in that late game on the Faceless Void. And you have to think of the outplay potential once it gets to those late stages, right? Marcy isn't like a Faceless Void where you can just turn around an entire game off of the back of the Chronosphere.
Smoke up, they're going to run into Killer. Molasses more than happy with utilizing the arena only onto the Broodmother. is with YRG nearby. They're going to have plenty of damage to bring him down. You'd hope they get more out of it, though. YRG did he pop? Okay, he used silence. YRG popped the Exo with only a little bit of, well, under 100 experience needed to get that second point in the exorcism, so a little unfortunate for them, but looks like they won't even get kind of any more follow-up damage out of it.
Again,
They're
it's
actually gonna
important that
smoke.
you lock out this brood, right? All that they're worried about is
They
protect
see the
towers.
Lina under the ward.
Do indeed.
If he's next to the neutrals as well, Renfu might be able to get some decent
living
damage
armor
out of
on
the
the
Chain Frost. They'll use it the last second. And unfortunately, the living armor is not enough. Oh, Marblu, he thought he over-zipped. Didn't just walk up before the usage of it. And Molasses is too late as well for the spears, so Poke get out with murder. Everyone is unscathed from that attempt.
Very, very important to stop this Lina from scaling. They might even be able to pick off a Mars as well, or at the very least, force some of these spells out to enable Killer to go in deep. I mean, this is a very heavily committed Broodmother. I think he wants to take advantage of the fact that he can only do this for the next little bit.
Onto Marblu, they're not going to look to target. The Terrorize not there, but Molasses. Okay, a beautiful spear onto two with the overgrowth follow-up as well, but where's the damage? The Crypt Swarm, but the last second helps him bring down the cause. Beautifully done from Molasses, finds the ankle to lay the spear down. He's going to miss this time onto Aaron. Does have the arena if he wants to use it, but we'll think otherwise.
Not worth it for a Rubik at that stage, and well, that's, again, it's important that they just shut out this Broodmother, right? Lina wasn't part of most of that. She was able to get a little bit of the pick off towards the end, but she just wants jungle to be able to farm, and this is the advantage of playing on the Dire side. This is the second game in a row, actually, that Poke have actually won the coin toss, and they've chosen to play on the Radiant side. And, well, they are just saying on Meteor, all right, well, we're going to farm. We pick a hero that does it amazingly in the Lina, and then we're just going to sit back, and she's going to become this unstoppable beast once it gets to the late game. Like we were mentioning before, she's got the Gleipnir. She can kind of play a little bit like a Nature's Prophet, right? With the Boots of Travel, joining in onto almost any single team fight. Drop the abilities to be able to lock in place this Storm Spirit, this Broodmother, force out perhaps an earlier Greaves. That means you can overgrowth on the back of that. Like, I'm really liking the way that Meteor are playing this game so far.
And we'll see if that can continue off the back of the smoke. Killer will be able to pop TZ's location, so at least get confirmation of the Treant Protector. Lina's even going to look to reveal her positioning as well.
I think they just need to wait for the BKB on the Storm before they can look to make anything happen.
Oh, who do they want to jump? Molasses off to the right side. Finds Killer, but the spear's going to be off the mark. The follow-up, Aaron's going to be able to try and disrupt that with the telekinesis, sending the Lina up to the sky. Two fights breaking out simultaneously, but it's going to be Dire that are happy to start, but not unless YRG goes down and Terrorize to buy him some time. Blood first going to jump into the middle, but again, the LSA protecting YRG. It'll get stolen, but it will not be enough to keep Lonfair alive.
All three cores going down there. It costs just a glyph as well, so not going to get any sort of tower damage done through, but I don't know. Feels like it's a really awkward situation as TZ, unfortunately. A split second short of being able to get that last little bit of the ward coverage, but they're actually going to look to try and go into Roshan with the last little remnants of the Exo, and I don't blame them, although this is a maxed out LSA that Aaron was able to steal, so can he look to make the hero play here? He's got the Blink Dagger.
She wasn't able to time it. And I look at Meteor, they're continuing on inside. They're going to be cautious, so the ultimates, they are on cooldown. This could be a decent fight for Radiant. Marblu running towards Renfu to start. They want to turn their attention towards Alina. Small KK in combination with Killer is going to be able to deal with the first life. Can they set up for round two? Looks like they will be able to do so with ease. Held into place. A jump on forward from Lonfair as well. And just too over-aggressive, it looked like, after the ages.
I mean, that was 3 Rubik Light Strike arrays from another suburb that he was able to just cast it from, not putting himself anywhere near the dangerous points. And, I mean, this is why you don't max out Light Strike Array against a Rubik. He's going to be able to steal it. One of probably the best spells that he can have. 7-second cooldown for such a huge range on that stun is really significant.
Yeah, we've seen this honestly too many times now, Danog. quite surprised that it's still continuing to go on.
Yeah, I don't hate leveling up the Dragon Slave if you feel like you need it to be able to, like, that's how you farm, that's how you're comfortable with it, but not Light Strike. It's way too strong.
We've just seen so far what Aaron's able to do off the back of that, and we also, I mean, you got to keep in mind of the previous.
Oh, they found TZ, maybe? Oh, actually, didn't drop.
He's
the
going to run
sentry.
into a sentry now, so I'll know his location. That was very awkward. Kind of sequence of events there, but Aaron's able to get the D-Ward as well on top of that, so pretty happy. Rubik now picks up the tome, so probably off the back of that, it's going to be towards his level 12. Meanwhile, Killer is getting a lot of damage into the T1 tower down bottom, and in fact, he's going to be able to find it. So, I mean, Daniel, we saw what happened in the previous series. Poke were down very early on, and then they were able to find a way back into this game. And I know we're not at like that grave stage just yet, but it's pretty close to it. What you said, it was 10%, right? Was the high, so the lowest it was for Poke. I mean,
it went down to 8 this game.
Yeah, it went down to 8. So this is very similar of our previous series.
But the difference is, I feel like Lonfer was still farming somewhat in that one. He's only just starting to recover now with that Battle Fury picked up. He's still 1,000 gold away from being able to get that BKB for himself and provide a little bit of save for the Overgrowth in particular.
Well, smoke on smoke.
I like
This
the way
could be
they're
the turning
moved,
point.
right? They're
Potentially
also half covering the Marcy with that rotation, right, towards the top side.
Smoke's gonna pop. So at the tree line, they'll be able to catch out Killer. Aaron nearby to try and disrupt, but unfortunately, they will not be able to do so. Back inside the lane, though, they've also caught up the Lina. BKB just got delivered. Is it going to be enough to keep it alive? It's not. Lina will go down, and the Storm Spirit, the TP gets cancelled thanks to the Overgrowth.
He's got a zip, though.
Now, he's still got plenty of mana to be able to play with, though, so Storm will be able to zip away. But unfortunately, Ranfu, well, he will not have the same capability.
Really want to see Aaron pick up an Aghanim Shard here. It's not going to be amazing at being able to deal with things like the Spear, for example, but it's going to be able to get you out of things like the Bedlam. It's going to get you away from the Light Strike Array combination. But more importantly, it's great against this Death Prophet. It's great with Mars if you've been able to steal the Spear, which he has a couple of times. Even makes that Cursed Crown very effective as well. I think Aaron's been playing the best this game so far, to be honest. I know they're behind, but he's 0, 2, and 4. Kind of odd to say, but I just feel like his positioning has been on point in almost every single one of these team fights has broken out.
And we've already spoken about all the abilities that Aaron's able to steal this game. So the fact that he's being able to keep up in farm as well means that we could start to see a lot more impact as this game goes on.
Almost able to land that spear as well. It is against a Treant with the Nature's guys. He's level 14 on Treant Protector. That is quite high.
Top lane, Lonfer, does he look for the solo kill?
He would need to commit the
is...
BKB. That's the thing.
And meanwhile, Molasses off to the other side of the map. Commits the arena to try and catch up to Ranfu, but not going to be the case. So we haven't really seen Poke be the aggressor so far this game. Do we feel like now with the BKB, they might look to try and make a play?
Oh, absolutely, especially with that arena being on cooldown as well, right? That's all that you're wanting. Looks like they might be able to get a quick kill. Good fingers. But I mean, that's another big cooldown expended. Probably didn't need to be able to play around that middle lane to push it out. Right there on top of it. You knew that they were in the general vicinity.
And I have a really good ward at the triangle to work with, though, so they might still consider about sticking around.
Yeah,
they see Killer and Small KK. There's so much information for them on this push if they want to try and use it.
Tower is under attack.
Looks like the pings are coming out. They're kind of aware of the positioning.
Well, that'll give information about it.
Though. They're going to try and target down with the Rubik at the moment. Laguna Blade instantly gets rid of the help, but they've got to respect the chain force bouncing back and forth. The damage is starting to rack up, but Marcy didn't pop. BKB enters the team fight into an instant stun. That item you were hoping was going to turn this game around, unfortunately results in them losing another team fight.
And that was with the Arcane Rune popped as well with the Exorcism, so you're going to have a nice juicy creep wave here hitting into the tower. Frost Shield for now. looking to try and repel it. They could use the glyph, though. I'd be very surprised if they didn't. And yeah, just wanting to protect their own creep wave as well. Get double the impact out of that one, not just pushing the lane out. I like the... Ooh,
They're going to go for YRG.
he is kind of solo here.
That he is. Marbler's going to try and close the distance now. Breeze will be activated. Doesn't have too many targets to look to use the Spirit Siphon with, but it looks like he's going to be okay. So BKB forced, all things considered. I mean, you're very happy with Dire.
Yeah, for sure. I like when Meteor went for that attempt as well, right? They did it just as that Observer Ward was about to expire.
Oh, he jumped into the Bramble. Just saw that fight back.
Yep.
Jumped into the Bramble. Didn't pop BKB. Did have a bit of a time. Maybe was caught off guard. Long zip in. Who they caught out? Small KK onto Molasses. BKB's coming up in 5 seconds here for the Mars. TZ's going to try and protect him as well. Living armor, is it enough? No way. Molasses stays alive. Killer's going to try and show up as well, but they're not on top of the Lina. The Chain Frost once again bouncing back and forth. Lina's going to be able to stand strong under the cover of the BKB. They're doing such a great job to kite the Mars here, but they haven't addressed Small KK. He's still got a little bit more mana pool to play with a zip on forward to get their second kill.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, Overgrowth was up in just another second or two. They might have looked to commit that one, but they just didn't have the follow-up right. Mars was away, looking to get into his next item. He's holding on to a lot of gold, actually, on Molasses. I wonder if he's just going to go straight for that refresher, or if it's going to be another item before then. Maybe a Lotus, just to prevent the Sinister Gaze from coming through?
Seen a lot of people start to consider about disassembling the Arcane and going to Aether Lens. I think Hex is even something he could be considering as well for the instant jump onto the Storm, the Marcy as well. It's cool. He's near the secret shop. I'm very intrigued what he wants to... Oops. Oh.
Man wants to carry. It's a good way to be able to burst out if he goes into... It's actually Satanic. Okay. Not even wanting the overwhelming blink, maybe to deal with those Broodmother Spiderlings a little easier.
You just want to be as tanky as possible for the Lina, right? It's a fake name. It's a March really behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just to tank up for the Lina, right? Like, that's the main thing he wants this.
For sure. I mean, what else can you really look to break out of? Do they have any silence? Nothing really, I guess, unless you're considering like the Silken Bowler to be able to walk away a little bit easier. Plenty of units to be able to Satanic God's Rebuke off, right? If the Spiderlings are in a team fight, it'll just bring you from like 1% to 100 pretty quickly.
Yeah. We're going to see smoke out of the boys on Dire. Meteor looking to try and path their way across the map. They might run into the duo supports on Poke.
They're just going to go straight
Killer's in a great spot. Meanwhile, they're just actually going to try and bring down the Train Protector before a fight breaks out.
But they take this so quickly.
Let's see if they're going to get in the neighborhood fast enough. Killer can maybe scout this, but Roche, it's going to go down before they're even close enough. So Molasses, he denied the Aegis. Oh no, Aegis got denied. They're going to try and take the fight. Jump over towards Killer. The Broodmother soaking up plenty of damage, and they know the Lina has no Aegis, so they're just going to try and target down the main damage source, blowing her up. And now Lonfer, he might have a free fight, but Small KK, he will not have the same fate. The Storm Spirit chased down in the end, a 2-for-2, and whoa, what a weird sequence of events.
Yeah, it was even the Lina just taking away that Aghanim shard as well, which I feel like would have been a pretty good pickup for the Death Prophet. Lina doesn't really get that big benefit from it as well. And I mean, we were just talking about before, Molasses with the purchase or the quick buy of the Satanic. Maybe it's Amar, but he's looking a little bit more like KOYXY with that Aegis deny.
Oh no.
This is why you don't A-click inside of the Roche pit.
That's...
He was able to land a decent enough arena and stun onto the Broodmother once again. And they were able to find that pick off onto it, but that's not what you want. You want this Lina to continue scaling. This was your big source to be able to go up onto the high ground.
Yeah, so you say there was a decent arena. I wonder if you have to now consider about actually only arenaing near the Lina, because we saw exactly what happened. Like, yes, it clipped the Broodmother, but there was 4 other people that were completely free just to fly at the Lina. So maybe you need to use it in an aspect where it's going to force them to BKB if they need to run through it to get to her location.
Sure, but they were still able to burst her down quickly enough, and you have to consider, like, Storm's able to zip in, Marcy as well, just hit the rebound onto her, and Lina wasn't able to use the BKB before she died. So yep. I feel like Mars Arena probably isn't going to change too much of that. Like, if you find the Lina and you can get onto her, a BKB is going to do nothing, because you're going to be standing right next to her anyway.
Well, this is a pretty huge item now for Small KK. It's a Scepter completed, and I mean, we could see some devastating combos come out from the boys on Poke. You've got the Marcy rebound into the middle with the AoE damage. You've got the Chain Frost to bounce back and forth. And your potential spear onto 2 heroes. Speaking about Aaron, it's been trouble. We'll get the spear away. Lonfer actually wants to jump in. Oh, that's an awkward timing into the overgrowth. And meanwhile, back inside the lane, Killer and YRG having a little battle between each other, but no one's going to come out on top.
Well, Satanic's finished up, and he's going into the overwhelming blink now, so man wants to be strong as hell with all that strength gain coming through on Molasses.
Oh, they get killed? Oh, no, what? Speed just off the mark. Molasses will try and stand strong off the back of the Satanic.
I don't know if you kill Killer.
Lina just 2 hits the Rubik, and now it's going to look to enter with a glide. They're setting up for the LSA. Oh, they make quick amends of what occurred around the Roche pit as the boys are Meteor. An incredibly well executed fight from them. They'll get a tier 2, and they're probably going to look to go high ground as well.
Why not? I mean,
the gem?
You're able to get Courier. Gem is... I don't know where the gem is.
It was on the other Courier.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was on the one that he just killed.
I mean,
big call if Storm can get it if he wants to reveal his positioning.
I mean, you're losing your racks in the meantime. Yeah, sure, you take away that from... He's not going to be able to get that Satanic for the next 3 and a bit minutes, but... Oh, he briefly TP'd back, but then he decided to stay afterwards. That's a couple of TPs that they've actually expended to be able to potentially try and defend. Small KK shouldn't be in that much of a worry, though.
5 seconds to overgrowth was what?
He has the root from the Ags.
Oh no way!
Overgrowth.
Oh TZ, what are they? They're crumbling, Denog. I thought it was Dire that were crumbling.
You know, it was just one thing. You know, one thing that just didn't work out.
It's a pretty big thing. Come on,
it is. But they were too far ahead at that stage anyway. Even before that fight, it was like I want to say 14k. And yeah, well, that 8% win probability, it's shrunk all the way back down to 2%. It really feels like they haven't made use of any of their small timings that they've had to come through with. If Storm's able to get level 20 with that little bit of extra duration on the Electric Vortex, it also provides you a little bit of coverage for the Dark Willow as well. The Shadow Realm isn't this area of safety for you. You could still look to lock her down during that, but... yeah, I just feel like this draft hasn't come together as well. And what I really like from Meteor is that they've identified this Broodmother as being the thing that's going to be able to break open the map to prevent Lina from being able to pick up a lot of this farm and play a lot more passively. I mean, how many times have they actually gone for a smoke attempt that's came off inside of like Lina's main farming areas? Like once, maybe?
Yeah.
She's got Rapier queued up, but I doubt it. The Lina.
I too doubt it.
Maybe it's just a bit of memes, you know?
Please like to do that. Yeah, no. They love to troll casters. I have no confirmation of this, but I just, you know, this is something I'm imagining. You just like to queue up some random shit, and you just want us to talk about Rapier for the next couple of minutes, and all of a sudden you just change, and you're like, well, all right, well, they're not going Rapier.
I'd just go AC.
They're going for a fight, though.
Him.
It's pretty decent position before Dire have territory of the triangle.
And before he has Satanic.
Lina's going to get caught on the low ground as well. They're actually not going to try and start on. They're going to go for the Death Prophet instead. One first damage. Is it actually even going to be enough? It's going to turn towards with a jump over. They're on the Lina. It might be enough. A big kill for them to find. And now they're already trying to chase down more as well. But do they want to turn it back around? Molasses standing strong, but he won't have YRG to combine with.
Oh.
whoa.
Everyone but YRG getting affected by that one.
He
It was a team house thing. What's up?
He should be able to get away. He's got blink up. And
He's got
Small
blink.
KK's
And Greaves, and he's
just
about to
starting.
silence Small KK.
You'll probably look to
mid-cast
cancel that and blink
silence.
away, right?
Probably.
TP up. How much mana is Small K? Oh, he's got plenty to probably chase him down. Where do you go? What's Molasses got as well? I don't know. What do? You get the kill on Renfu, Spear.
Do you just drop
Spear's
Arena?
probably- Sure,
Arena and
Spear, Arena, and yeah.
I mean, Lena's got 180 gold for buyback. She's not going to be able to get it. So I think that, Arena's got a pretty similar downtime to it. The lanes are all shoved in pretty fast, so you're not going to get your own high ground sieged. I think you can, drop that down, get a kill, TP out, would be the play.
Okay. So, finally, men, we've seen what this Marcy can do versus Lena. Like, a lot of people have theorized that this is kind of a nice counter. We've spoken a lot of, like, the carry matchups, just to list a few, Ursop, Slark, but we haven't seen the Marcy be able to fulfill that role. A big reason why is just because she had her horrific lane and has really struggled to catch back up with all the dash she's had across the map. But like, finally, it might be turning around. We really just saw like the power that Marcy can have, especially with Blink now. It's going to make it that much easier for her positioning to be able to get on top of the Lena. And she got blown up from 4-0. So how do Dire... Is this a concern? Am I like over worrying things at the moment? Because it's a 22,000 net worth lead and it's a 1% chance. Like, do they need to be worried about the Marcy right now, or are they still okay?
I think they're still okay. I mean, like I said, lanes are in a really good spot. They're not going to be able to get any main objectives. There's no Roshan to be able to take. And that was just a position where Lena went too far forward on her own. Most of the time, it's going to be Death Prophet going in first. It's going to be Mars going in first. And she still didn't have that Satanic. It's just been respawned on the Courier, I believe. She would have been able to turn around and fight if she just pops that BKB and starts to man fight. So I think it's just a singular case of poor positioning.
Okay.
I'm trying to get the Google Translate going on here before the chat, by the way.
I appreciate that. I was just about to ask if you could do us a...
Well, Ranfu is basically asking Yellow, Red, Green why he didn't drop as well. He said, don't know. And Aaron's just saying, what's the situation? And, well, I think we're just still waiting and seeing what the situation is. I mean, we hope that this is not going to be another one of these instances where, pause time eventually runs out. Because look at the lead. It's a 22k net worth lead. This is in the bag for Meteor if they're just able to close it out. I mean, Poke would be... They were able to grab victory from the jaws of defeat in game number 1, coming back from a 10% win probability. And, I mean, it's probably not the way that they would like to do it, but if they're able to get a default win, that guarantees themselves with staying in the division. And then it would be Meteor and Cloud fighting it out. But... We'll end up seeing what happens.
That would be truly devastating. I think I cannot remember if it was C or China where I saw that happen. I think it was... I actually don't know. It happened really recently. Okay. One where they were up and then...
It wasn't Poke against Meteor as well, was it? I kind of feel like it was.
Oh, man. When was their series? Let's see. Someone's going to help us.
Poke
versus
Cloud.
Cloud.
Yeah.
Oh, Penel, what would we do without you?
Thank you,
You guys are
Penel.
the best. Penel. Minus Lizard, he didn't help us.
Mm-hmm.
Screw that guy.
Penelope, that's what we like to call the panel.
Penelope. Hey, Denog.
Mm-hmm.
We got a major starting soon, man.
We do.
This is a exciting time for Dota. I mean, every time the major comes around, it gets closer and closer. Like a couple days, 3 days, 2 days, 1 day. I'm like, holy shit! We're about to see some of the best Dota we'll get in months.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how people are going to be able to answer the Lena. I mean, again, I think it was something that was talked about during yesterday's broadcast. Europe spams that Batrider. China does not.
Yeah.
We'll see if the Div 1 teams are going to be able to adapt to that, how quickly they're going to be able to do so. I'm keen to see how C is going to be able to respond as well, because Southeast Asia, I would say, has probably looked like one of the weaker of the regions, but we've seen how quick they are to be able to change on the fly mid-tournament. So we will see how it ends up turning out. While we have these DCs, though, we're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be back as soon as the players hopefully look to reconnect.
All right, lads. We
It's
are
on
back
pause.
with probably not the greatest news that we could give. Unfortunately, we're doing this one 1v5.
He's been playing
It's
pretty
tough
well,
scenes out here.
YRG, but yeah, even this kind of seems like a little bit too far for him, doesn't it? Oh, we see one
Yeah.
back. Willow's back.
Oh.
2v5, winnable.
Well, maybe that's a good
You
sign.
just doubled
then,
your
if they're all-
chances.
Sure. If they're all boot camp minus the stand-in, then maybe the others are coming back shortly. Pog,
Pog?
maybe. I mean, look, all right, what would you just be running down mid right now? Like, are we happy with them farming jungle? Like,
I don't think they're not farming that much of the jungle, right? Like, it just hit the 37-minute mark, so I think maybe they were wanting a few of these neutral items coming through, but all other lanes are being pushed in at the time. They're even just popping the Unleash to be able to try and take this top side as quickly as possible. I wouldn't hate seeing him pivot into something like an AC on, honestly, any of these heroes.
Oh my god, let's see if they get a... Dude, watching the fight back is a little bit unlucky for them. Production, what are you trying to do to the lads? That's so mean.
Oh, feels
What?
bad. Feels
Just
bad.
let him soak in it.
And then the
Oh my.
unpause and the death. Oh,
Tower is under attack.
cold
There's no
as
mercy.
ice. It's a really quick Roche respawn as well, 20 seconds away, so you can probably look to put this Lich Illusion inside of the pit if you want that little bit of information. All right, Marblu, I've been talking you up all series. You're 6-4 and 20. Can you do it? Honestly, I mean, YRG as well has been looking real solid. Oh, it's even the Aghanims on the Roshan. So they're going to know if Killer just steps inside, but maybe they're just wanting to... You know, if you've got an opening... Oh. Sportsmanship pause. I'm getting it out, don't worry. Yeah, I mean, we're looking to go into this Roche fight right now, and, well, looks like it's, once again, popping the Unleash for it. It's very well worth it, right? Again, they've got the outnumber. They're going to be able to... Oh, okay, never mind. I thought that was Storm on the dire side, but never mind. It is going to be the Aghanim's Blessing, picked up by, I would assume, the Marcy. She's got it in her backpack right now, but just having that Dispel for the Unleash is going to be very effective against... In particular, the Overgrowth. It means that you can afford to pop that BKB, dive in super deep, and then look to try and force a response, still have that way to be able to break out of it and continue pushing on forward. But, you know, again, Molasses, while he has reconnected, he's just sitting inside the base for now. So we'll see if maybe he's using the Lina instead as the main priority. That is still the main damage dealer for now.
When he's hyping himself up. That's what he's doing. He's hyping himself up, trying to get ready, trying to get the Mojo Dome for what he needs to do. This is wild. This is actually crazy. This is 2,000 net worth lead. Where'd everything go? Who got the scepter?
Marcy.
Okay. Oh, but that's
Yeah.
that's really big. That is a very, very big scepter.
Oh, and you've even got a Bloodthorn now on the Storm.
Oh God, man. How do you do this?
Turns out all you need is just 5 minutes of the enemy team doing nothing, and then you're able to bring back a net worth disadvantage.
Wow. Crazy. I'll let my teammates know that when we are down in pubs.
Yep.
That is exactly what I will say to them. You got a regen as well for the Storm Spirit, so it's gonna be love and life to refresh. And Meteor, we are not leaving.
They are literally
base.
not moving. They are not moving in base, even though 3 of them are reconnected. Well, never mind, YRG. Moving forward a little bit, just trying to use that Crypt Swarm whenever he can.
So what's going on right now? The only thing I can possibly think in their minds is that they do not want to go high ground, and they're waiting, like, out of respect.
I guess.
I mean, like, why are they not going?
Maybe they feel like, all right, we can get to level 25, and then it's going to be even more of a certainty. Storm Spirit's only about a level or so away.
Radiant are scanning.
Just being able to have that overload attack bounces with the Aghanim Shard that he's picked up for himself. He's nearly got the full Kyron Sange.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Things are looking dire for Dire, that's for sure.
They are indeed. It's all right, there we go. T2 tower, and
I think this is just like, look, we can only delay this for so long, right? Like, we've taken all the outer towers. You got to try and defend this somehow. TZ, I think that was a box drag, and just bringing them back to the base. They're not even using the living armor on the Treant Protector to be able to slow this one down.
And the comms must be so sad right now for the boys on Meteor.
They had it.
God.
They had it in the bag. 2%.
They did.
1%
2?
win
I think it was 1. Yeah.
This is why I always say you got to leave it at 1% win probability. This sort of thing can happen. It's bad luck. Most of the time we're used to it being Australian or Sea internet being the cause, but well, they're going to be able to get a kill onto Marblu. I mean, we don't know what his ping's like as well. He might be reconnected, but on like 500 ping.
Yeah. Like, no one else is moving. Oh, God. This
Well,
is the
if you
worst
poke-
way you could do it. And it's not going to feel rewarding for them as well.
No.
I mean, one last defense, but on Fur, he's got plenty of damage. I'll send YRG back. One tier 4 is down. The next is going to go down as well. And they're not even going to try and defend. No micro
they
plays,
can't.
no last second attempt. Poke. They're going to take it. Back-to-back series for them. They're going to be sticking around in Division 2.
They will indeed, and it's just going to be the one round of tiebreakers guaranteed. Hopefully for Meteor, it's going to be them being able to find an alternative solution for what they could do to be able